It's your boy, Ed the Dread, aka Eddie Money Mouth, and you are tuned into the Money Mouth Podcast. Yes, sir. Welcome back to a beautiful Money Mouth Monday, baby. Today's topics of discussion: how competition helps you, specifically healthy competition, and the US's attempt to ban TikTok. We gonna see. Right. So we are coming off the second Maui Interscholastic League surf competition. We are the only island in Hawaii that has high school surfing as a competitive sport. And the MIL runs a contest every 2 weeks or so for roughly, six contests in the spring season for high school sports. So we have had our second meet, which I'm in the assistant coach of the boys team, Baldwin High School. And the boys placed third, the girls placed third. First meet, the girls had placed third, and the boys tied for first. So we're doing pretty dang good, especially for having a minimum of one competitor in each the boys and girls divisions who have never even competed in surfing. So, you know, good showing in that perspective. Now, when you think about competing, especially in the world of surfing, you can say there's a big difference between the soul surfer, or nowadays like free surfer, like surf vlogger, versus the competitive surfer. World tour and or just local competitive circuit if surfing is big where you're at. Now, competing is something that ultimately, gives you something to train for, right? Regardless what sport you're in. Surfing, skimming, skating, soccer, swimming, track, and not so much like cross country, but distance running, I would say were, my sports. Some of which are races or feats of athletic ability against others individually. Some, team efforts against another team, and some sports that are like judged on your certain criteria and or style, which is added to what you can produce in your respective sport. So when it comes to competing, I always had this mindset when I was younger that, you have to cross train, you always have to do extra stuff. And I would compete in skimboarding every summer as a kid, outside of soccer that I played year round, swim team in the summer and winter. And then as I progressed to high school, I did winter track and spring track. But in the world of track, swimming, soccer, clearly, collegiate and professional athletes are lifting weights. Clearly, they're doing extra fitness. Clearly, they're doing things like that to help benefit their athletic performance. And I always just assumed that that was the case with surfing, skating, skimboarding, the other sports that I played, which were kind of like, like counterculture, subculture sports at the time. Now they're like in the Olympics and stuff. But when I would watch surf and skim videos as a kid, I wouldn't really notice the party sections or anything like that. I would just kind of be straight watching the skimming, watching the surfing, paying attention to that. Uh, and as I grew up and got to meet people who were in the professional ranks of these sports, some of them did train, some of them didn't. And I was really confused. Again, that was in like the 90s, in the 2000s. And nowadays, I would say because these sports are in the Olympics, a lot of these people are doing a lot of extra training and cross training in the off season and such, right? But initially, as these sports were kind of just a counterculture thing, the people that were the best and the people that had the most style, the people that were creating the outlets to produce media, may not have been your typical athlete. They were probably just a skater or just a surfer or just a skimmer, right? But once competing starts getting into the realm, there's something to train for. There's something to work out outside. If the waves aren't up, you got to work out. If there's no game this week, you still got to work out. There's something to train extra for. So although there's a difference in sports, again, some are teams, some are individuals, some are competing at a certain task, some are being judged, right? You'll see certain things that happen in relation to those sports, like the ones that are team and or individual based at athletic feat. They're going to be pushing themselves to the extreme in their training, right? Just like a muscle would work. You break your muscle down so that it becomes stronger, right? If you're competing against someone who runs faster than you, you're going to be figuring out any way to run as fast as they are so that they don't beat you every race. You're going to be making your muscle stronger. You're going to be making your technique better, right? If you're playing a team sport and you never beat this rival, you're going to be studying the game tape. You're going to want to individually try to win that battle against that person's position on the other team that you're going against, right? You're going to figure out ways to make those things happen. But again, without that competition, you would just be playing, which is cool. Now, on the other hand, sports that are more judge based, if you look at, say, surfing or skimboarding, you would consider them to be based on something like speed, power, flow, technical maneuver and difficulty, height of wave, things along those lines, right? In the competition realm, you not only get to express yourself more, but you take more chances, right? Let's say you're free surfing and the waves are really big. A lot of times you're probably going to look behind and see what's behind it and not want to hit that last turn and get caught on the inside and have to take like 6 on the head to get back if you have the opportunity to just jump out of the wave and make it back easier. Right? In the world of competition, you're going to ride that wave out as long as you can, and you're going to smash that last turn, and you're not going to care what's behind it because it's a competition and you're going for the best score that you can. Right? If you're just in a free surf with your friends and you're all just having a good one, hooting and hollering, paddling around, just like messing around, you might have caught 50 waves and had a great time, but you might not have actually focused on improving on something, right? You compete against someone who's better than you get to see where they're taking off, what part of the wave they're aiming for as they're running down the beach, things along those lines, right? So the competition aspect brings growth. And along the lines of competing, I would also say it's got to be some sort of healthy competition. So you don't want to get caught up in the world of having this sport and having this competition bring you into like a negative mindset. You don't want to have the competition bring you to the point where, you're a dad cursing at the other kid that's beating your kid. You don't want it to be that you're trying to sabotage the game or the event or anything you can do just to make the thing win when it's just supposed to be a natural activity. When with youth, in the realm of coaching and training soccer, which I've done like for my entire existence, I believe that you shouldn't even really care about winning till you're like 14, 15, 16 years old, right? It's great to win a U12 state championship. It's great to win a U10 something. It's great to win the little league. But like what's the point? Congratulations, you did it. When you're 16, 17, you want to go to college, you need to be seen, you're trying to get to the next level. I would say that's a time to be like stressing to win. But when you're super young, it should just be about enjoying the sport, learning and becoming better at the sport, learning the team aspect, which is like the part of life that you want to grasp, right? Like there's a bigger thing with community and your community, your state, your nation, your world that you're a part of that you should learn playing team sports, other than just wanting to be the winner. And that also goes for business. There's a reason why there's laws against monopolies. There's a reason there's a reason why those things exist. Healthy competition helps everyone. The competing businesses have to figure out strategies. They have to figure out cost pricing, and generally speaking, the pricing is going to help the consumer, right? If you have one person monopolizing, they're able to set a crazy price that they choose. But if you have a bunch of healthy competition, the price is going to be less for the consumer. The business isn't just sitting there running rampant and maybe taking advantage of tax laws and stuff. You're probably going to be more straightforward with a healthy competitive market. So whether it's sports, athletic activities, and or just business, healthy competition is good, and it's going to help you to become better, right? Moving on to our second point. Oh my gosh, another crazy. It's the United States is just too crazy. I don't know. I'm at a point where I've been puzzled since I was like 16, but now I'm 40. It's unspeakable at this point to me. We're in a country that freaking will, parachute aid down to a country, but then also give the country that flies behind them the bombs to drop on the people that they just gave the aid to. What? And now we're looking to ban a social media platform. Right now, I previously wanted nothing to do with TikTok. Right? I think it came out when I was a middle school math teacher. I saw overnight how kids just started doing dances and crazy stuff, and I was like, that's nuts. I don't want anything to do with it. Fast forward 2 or 3 years, and I'm a statistics teacher in the high school level, and I give a statistical survey project, and within 10 minutes, 2 groups had a 500 sample size done off of TikTok. They put a question out, and all the kids in all the other schools answered it like before the period was over. So I realized, the grasp that the tool has, which is why I feel like the government wants to ban it. Right now, TikTok is a Chinese-owned app. It's free to use. Right? There are ads on it, and you can buy products and stuff on it, right? But just like any other app, it's free to use. So I'm sure they take your data, which they do to a certain extent, I'm the type of person that's read almost every single user agreement, right? Like Facebook, maybe not long time ago, but all these Instagram updates, all the things that I join, I read the whole agreement. So like it didn't seem from what I could understand from the writing that they were taking anything more than any other people do. It just goes to China. So it's like whatever. And the US doesn't want it to go to the Chinese Communist Party. They don't want all your information going to a communist party. Or that's what they say. Right? But you also have to understand, like I said, the grasp of this tool and the people that use it. At this point in time, information is disseminated very quickly. It may be false, right? So there's a thing where you have to understand the outlets that you're getting the information from. You do have to fact check yourself, which is I believe on you to do as a conscious adult, right? Or if you're a parent with a child that's on the thing, you should have some sort of restriction, or they shouldn't even be on it. But regardless, information is spread very quickly, whether it's true and or false. Okay, and during the COVID time, false information about the vaccines and how it didn't matter if you took them and whatever. The fact checking was crazy, right? And so you were allowed to put whatever you wanted, but they checked it. They had fact checkers, right? Now, with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, it's clear that the age where like my parents, their TV probably doesn't even turn off. That type of person isn't really popping out anymore. We're not popping out TV sitters, we're popping out phone lookers, and they're into like really quick stuff. Okay, so like my dad might watch Fox News and believe everything they say. Another person might watch CNN, believe everything they say. Okay, but people like me and others will look at a whole bunch of different outlets, take all those things into account, look up other research, take everything I know from historical reference into account, and make my own decision on issues. Uh, it has been said that there is not a problem with left versus right. There's a problem with young versus old in spreading propaganda nowadays, specifically in the Israeli Palestinian conflict, which isn't a conflict. It's a complete ethnic cleansing of people from an area which wants to be taken by another people, right? But when you put information out through news outlets, it's always skewed to a certain point. And with TikTok and Instagram and all these outlets, you can literally just be on the ground there filming. And I'm sure that the powers that be don't like that, right? Like, why would you ever want to be able to see exactly what's happening? And then see from the people's mouth that it's happening too? No. For real? Clearly, the government wants you to listen to their news outlets, right? Uh, I honestly can't believe how quickly it passed through the House. I think it was like 350 something to like 60 something votes. We have a government in the US that can't fucking figure out much. When COVID happened, they couldn't figure out how much to give to should people even get money. They're so split. The House and the Senate, everybody's completely split. We don't know. We got to make some sort of package. Oh, when we got to give money for war, what are we going to do? What are we going to, we need a bailout for banks. Oh gosh, there's mortgage. We don't know what to do, right? But when it comes to a social media app, oh my gosh, how quickly they decide. Like, are you crazy? And then good old Jenny Joe has already said that, if it passes House and Senate, he's just going to approve it. So we'll see how that goes in the future. They want it to be sold to a U.S. company. So I don't know. In a business world, I would think that they would want to take into account how many people there are using it, how much revenue those people bring in. Can the app sustain itself without all those people? How big is the hit actually? That's all real in a capitalist world. But also, you might just say "f you" and just do whatever. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'll keep you informed on the podcast here. But it regardless if TikTok is banned in the U.S., if another app opens up, if we go back to writing notes and folding origami and handing it to people, the world's gonna still go on. Okay, so don't let the next election be the death of you. Don't let your phone app not working be the death of you. Don't let your phone break and be the death of you, because life's gonna continue to go on. All right, people, keep your head up. Love you. I will see you next time on the Money Mouth Podcast. Click subscribe. Click like if you liked it, share if you care, and also visit our single and only sponsor, goodvibesgear.com. Get your $20 t-shirt coming in hot, 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 hot.